Hello, and today I'm going to have a go at creating a basic Flutter app. I'll try making a TicTacToe game using buttons. Should be pretty straightforward. So give it a name. Create our app. And there we go. So I'm going to use the outline button widget, and we'll try using that to make our elements we can click on that will change the states. First of all, I'm going to make sure we're using the right API. We'll fire up our emulator. Start the app. And we'll have the sample app here, which I want to get rid of. A couple of the elements that are in there. Get rid of the text elements. Get rid of this button at the bottom. And we don't need the app bar. Okay. So first things, let's put one of the outline button classes in our app. Now usually we would either put an icon or a text element in there as the child. So let's just see if we've got that working. Cool. So we've got a button there that does nothing at this stage. So now we're going to need an on pressed action. And that can do nothing for the moment. Okay. There we go. Now that we have a button response, that's making some progress. So we actually want this to start off with nothing, but we want to be able to populate those based on a grid state, since we're going to make a TicTacToe game. So first let's create a grid. array for this. Use text fields for the array. Make it a 3x3 array. There we go. And let's just start it again. We'll say this is place 0, 0. So we're going to say this text field starts off being our grid at place 0, 0. So if we save that, that shows we are reading our grid. If I rerun that, there we go. Now we're going to need, so this is our column. We're going to want a row with 3 buttons. So we can make a row there we go. And we're going to want to have 3 buttons. You have to work on some padding on that shortly. But now we can make two more rows, and we have a grid. However, the grid, so that's the X, so load the values of our grid. So now, for example, if we put an X and an O here, reload those values, oh, we've got our grid back to front, or left to right there. Functionally that won't make much difference, but we could reorder that. I won't worry about that for the minute. What we do want to do is have something happen when we click on the item there. So let's make a function we can call. And we don't actually need this function here anymore, but we can okay, so we want to update the grid to say grid x, y, oh, equals yeah, we need to know which player is playing at the moment, so we'll start with the player of x. So let's say if the grid equals current player, then the grid I'm not just going to toggle it. Grid equals the player, then player equals. If the player equals x, then the return y, else return x. There we go. So we're going to toggle the player value after each time we call the button click. So now we're going to say button click of 0, 0 there. Actually, while we're at this, why don't we flip this around? Because we had X and Y back to front before. Neatly done. Perfect. So now if we click on an element, X and Y, we wanted to toggle between noughts and crosses. Rerun that. Perfect. So now we can update our grid. We want to do some smart checking on there and display who the current player is and if a player's won. So let's start by adding into the status Now we need to say, when we change the player, who the new player's turn it is. Restart that, have a look at how it's going. Perfect. Let's start with a blank board now. Fantastic. So now we've got a functional playing environment. It'd be nice to actually see who wins or if someone's won. So that's going to be the fun part. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ways someone can win. So yeah, we could have a look at that now, but I think I'll revisit this later. Tonight's video is being recorded a little bit late, so yeah, we've got the very basics of an interactive game using some buttons with rows and columns, playing with an array, some ternary logic checks here to toggle the player status, and yes, certainly should have some checks in there as well to make sure players don't play on top of another player's turn. But where would the fun be in that? All good. I'll leave you today, and yeah, we'll dig into some more stuff next time. Bye.